Hey guys, welcome to this final lesson number 3 for unit 4 from the intermediate level number 13, okay? So remember that we began a story about the Thai cave rescue. I told the story using two tenses, the simple past and the past continuous, but also remember that we can include a third tense, the past perfect tense, okay? And I just show you the graphic, right, where you have a situation in progress with the past continuous, a situation that interrupts the action using the simple past, and a situation before that at the beginning of your story or before your story, which is the past perfect, okay? So we're going to talk about this same story, the Thai cave rescue, but we're going to be using three tenses, okay? So yes, I told you, remember that this story is a group of boys from a soccer team and their coach that decided to go visit these caves in Thailand, and it was I think either before or after rainy season, and obviously they got trapped because it began to rain and the cave became flooded, okay? So obviously there was a mission to rescue this group of boys, and it was a success. All of them survived. There were no accidents, but unfortunately one of the divers passed away, okay, in this mission because it was very dangerous. So let's continue with this story. Again, I'm going to be including a third tense, the past perfect. I think it will be pretty similar, or if not extremely similar, to the previous one, but I will be including another tense, and it will make the story complete, okay? It will add more detail or more information to the story. As you can see, the difference from this to this story, as you can see, it has much more text, which will give more detail to your story. All right, so I will tell the story, and then I will just mention some key points similar to the past lesson number 2. So the Thai cave rescue, right? While the 12 boys were hiking in the Thai caves, it started to rain. It had rained like this a few days earlier. They were planning to stay 1 hour, so they only took their torches. Unfortunately, all their equipment had stayed at the cave's entrance. They became trapped inside as the rain was flooding the caves. They had forgotten they didn't have food or water. While they were trying to escape, a flash flood forced them to go even deeper inside the cave. Fortunately, no one had been missing. They realized they didn't have food or water as they were getting hungry. Only one boy had remembered to bring his water bottle. The coach was helping the kids stay calm when the rescue mission started. The marine, divers, and others had begun to move as fast as possible. As the divers were getting close to rescue all the boys, the cave conditions got worse. The rain had not stopped. Okay, so as you can see, it's the same story from the previous lesson, but I am adding more detail using the past perfect about situations before anything happened. Okay, so the first sections are very similar. I just, for example, in number 1, I put it had rained like this a few days earlier, so before this happened. For number 2, I put all their equipment had stayed at the cave's entrance. Okay, it's like their bicycles, their backpacks, I don't know, things like that, had stayed at the entrance. Okay. For number 3, they had forgotten they didn't have food or water. Okay, again, before they even entered to the cave. Number 4, I put no one had been missing. Okay, so obviously everybody stayed together. For number 5, I put only one boy had remembered to bring his water bottle. So before they entered and before they got trapped, he remembered to bring his water bottle. For number 6, I put that the marine, the divers, and others had begun to move as fast as possible. So before they I don't know, they get sad, or they were getting I don't know, nervous, and it became the news around the world. Obviously the marine divers and others had begun to move as fast as possible. And finally, for number 7, I put the rain had not stopped, okay, which was one of the factors, right? All of the heavy rain that forced them to go inside the cave even deeper, and they were stuck while it was flooding. All right, so this is how it would look using a third tense. Remember still that I'm using the same expressions while and as to show for the past continuous that this situation was in progress. Okay, so this is an example. So remember, just think of a story that you have that was interesting or crazy that happened to you, and try to use these. Try to use all of the tenses. At first, I recommend to structure your story like this using 2 tenses, and then as you remember more details, then start including with the past perfect more information. Okay, so this is the end of lesson number 3, and this is the end of the unit. So I will see you for the next course. Okay, so remember, good job, you finished this course, level 13, and hope you're ready for level number 14. Okay, so have an excellent day.